we are supposed to start with the uh, environmental issues. It's a very small chapter, but it's not uh, that it's not like that you use this chapter or it's not that much important. It's very important, and you will get many questions from here. And frequently, the questions are being asked from this chapter. As you will go through with the previous question paper, you will come to know that frequently they ask the question from this chapter. So there are few topics, and we are going to study those topics. And I'll let you know what are the topics which are very important for your examination, medical examination, right? So let's start with the environmental issue. Okay, we are going to discuss this one, but it's not that much important for your medical examination. So in air pollution, the thing which is important that in our country, like in India, as the NCRT is based on this country. So in our country, there is an Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, right? This is the act which control all kind of the pollution, which is like it may be air pollution, it may be sound pollution, it may be water pollution, it may be soil pollution, it may be any kind of pollution, right? So all kind of the pollution have been covered under this act. This act came in India. It was came into force in 1981. In 1981, we made the Air Pollution Control Pollution Act, right? So this is one of the Pollution Control Act. So here in 1987, when we came to know that there is a sound pollution, right, that also exists, right? So in 1987, we included noise within the air pollution. So nowadays, noise, like you cannot use the pressure horn nowadays. So you'll get the challan on that. So because that pressure horn, they split the noise pollution, and that's why they are banned, right? So we have incorporated all those kind of the sound pollution within this one. To clean the air, there are two things. So first one, this first one is first equipment is called electric precipitator. Basically, this electric precipitator is for to purify those air where particulate pollution is more. Looks try to understand. If you go in the Chhattisgarh forest, some part of the southern part of the Uttar Pradesh, and many of the part where the mining is done in Jharkhand, right? The mining is done. Those area are lush green area. Air pollution means vehicle pollution or factory pollution is not over there. But what is happening? They are cutting the mountains, and they are making the pebbles, and they are making the stone small stone parts, right? They are breaking the stones. Due to breakage the stone, the sand or silica, it it start spreading here and there, right? And it make air polluted, right? So those area where construction is going on, where mining is going on, where crushing is going on, so in those area, actually the sound, the pollution remains in the form of the dust particle. This dust particle keep on suspending on the air. They go to our nose and reaches to our lungs, and they causes silicosis. So if we want to purify that air, the air which do not have gaseous pollution, rather than it have dust or some particulate pollution. So suspended particles. So this equipment is called electronic precipitator. An electronic precipitator, this is a lower plate is called collection plate, and within this chamber there are some small plates. These plates keep on releasing the negatively charged electron, right? So these plates, they keep on uh, spreading the negatively charged electron. So when these electrons are bombarded, these electrons, they collect the dust particle around them, and we call this structure corona. So negatively charged are released. This negative charge, they collect the dust particle around them, and they make the corona. Because it become heavier, so it's settled down in the collecting plate, and we remove it from the here, right? And the pure air passes through it. So these electronic precipitator are used for the dust or solid particle which remains suspended in the air. If we have to clean the air, polluted air which have the gases pollution, another kind of the pollution, carbon particle and gases pollution, we want to purify it. Then we use the scrubber. What is scrubber? Is this kind of the equipment. From here, we pass the dry air. When the air goes inside, the spray of the water and lime is done over here. Due to spray of the water and lime, these both combination of this one, they clean the air and pure air is released from here. So to purify the air, we are using the two equipment: electronic precipitator and subscriber. Okay, scrubber. And look, one more thing. SPM, what is SPM? SPM is suspended particulate material. SPM are those particles which keep on suspending in the air. They do not settle down normally. They are called, they come under the SPM, suspended air particle material. So here you have to take care of this Air Pollution Control Act, right, 1980, and then Sound Pollution Incorporated 1987. That you need to know. Now, this is very important part. What we are going to study.
Sir, this part we did in previous class.
This part we did it in previous class.
Yes, sir, we did, sir.
Are you sure? Just a minute.
Yes, sir, I remember, sir.
Population interaction we did it. Ecosystem we did it. Biodiversity we did it, completed. I think air pollution we did not complete it.
So this part and the previous part that we were doing, sir, that we have done, sir, I remember.
And what about this one, biomagnification?
Yes, sir, this also done, sir.
Okay, and this one, eutrophication?
Sir, I guess this is also done, sir. I guess we have to start from greenhouse.
We have to start from the greenhouse here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Oh, thank you. So look, what is the greenhouse? Now, what is the greenhouse? It is also important. Greenhouse part. Can anybody tell me what are the greenhouses? First thing, my first question. Then I'll ask you what the greenhouse is. First, tell me what is the greenhouse? Heather? Samara, tell me what is greenhouse? Abhinav? Nobody knows what is greenhouse? I have made greenhouse over here. Look, greenhouse have to nothing to do with the pollution or global warming. It have nothing to do with the global. Actually, greenhouses are a special kind of the houses which are made up of glasses, and they are used to grow the vegetation or vegetable. In colder countries, these houses are called greenhouses. How does they work? They are very useful for those countries where throughout the year snow sheet remains throughout the year, like northern part of the Canada, Siberia, or some northern part of the Russia, northern part of the Europe. So these are those countries like Greenland. So those countries where most of the time the land remains covered with the snow. And if snow is not there, then even the temperature is that much low that the green vegetable cannot be grown. Why the green vegetable cannot be grown on those areas where the temperature is extreme negative? The reason behind it that below the 0 degree, the water become ice. The vegetable have 70% of the water in their body, inside their cell, right? So water content is 70%. What will happen if you will grow vegetable over there? So what will happen? The water which is present inside the cells of the vegetable, that will convert into ice crystal. These ice crystal have more volume than the water, right? What will happen? Because of formation of the ice, this tissue will get ruptured, and this process is called freeze fracturing, right? So if you get the question why the vegetation or why the vegetables cannot be grown in the colder country, because of the freeze fracturing. In freeze fracturing, tissue get damaged, right? The best example is that if you have refrigerator at your home and take apple, put the apple in the freezer part. After 2-3 hours, take out this apple and let it cool down. When it will cool down, if you'll eat it, it will be look like rotten, because all the cell die because of the freeze fracture. That's why we never keep the vegetable directly into the fridge or freezer, and there are a separate compartment at the lowermost part of the fridge and which remains covered, that is especially designed for the vegetable. That is the reason. So in the nutshell, greenhouses are those houses which are made up of the glass and they are used for grow the vegetables. So how the greenhouses are useful for those countries? Look, for sake of this is Siberia and the outside temperature is minus 30 degrees Celsius. We have glass house where we grow the vegetables. You can see these glasses have been designed as special kind of the glasses. They have been designed in a way like when the sunlight comes inside, the light energy comes inside, but when this light energy wants to go out after the collision, it collide with the glass. When it want to go back, it do not goes out of the it is unable to go out of these glass sheet. They cannot cross this glass sheet once they enter, right? Then what will happen? They will keep on colliding inside glass walls, right? And they will increase the heat. So what will happen? The inner temperature we maintain the 25 degrees centigrade, outer there is a 30 degrees centigrade. And there is a thermoregulator, and thermoregulator is help to maintain, means we can release the extra temperature from this thermoregulator. Right? They maintain the temperature inside the greenhouse. And we grow the green vegetable. Right? That's how the greenhouses are effective through the vegetable. Right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So how the greenhouse effect? What is the greenhouse effect? Greenhouse effect is that when light energy comes inside and get trapped inside, and when it try to go outside, it is bounced back. That's why this is greenhouse. Our Earth is behaving like Earth is like a greenhouse. Look, around the Earth there is a thick blanket of carbon dioxide. It is very useful for us. If carbon dioxide would not be there, then the Earth will all the water of the Earth, whole water of the Earth, that will become ice. How? Look, there is a carbon dioxide layer. This carbon dioxide layer in our atmosphere, when light comes, they allow light rays to come inside. And when light collide with the Earth, it is converted into heat waves, right? When heat wave try to go back, then some amount of the heat dissipate, like it can go back, but most of the heat, it is trapped inside the Earth. It is bounced back by the carbon dioxide blanket, right? This thing increases the temperature, and this phenomena, this greenhouse effect, this is called greenhouse effect. These carbon dioxide layer is working now like the glass of the greenhouse, right? Glasses wall of the greenhouse. So what they are doing, they are bouncing back the energy. Hence, this energy is increasing the average temperature of the Earth, and the average temperature of the Earth is plus 15 degrees centigrade, and that's why this Earth is uh, uh, amicable, and this Earth is like uh, it maintained the Earth atmosphere so that we could survive, right? And if we remove this layer, what will happen? The energy will go back, and the temperature will become the minus, and this complete Earth will be covered with the ice cap, right? Ice sheet. So that's why carbon dioxide is important. But now, what is happening right? There are some gases which are making this blanket more thicker. And what is happening? All the energy which try to like go back, when the energy try to go back, is all the energy is bounced back in the atmosphere, and that's why it is increasing the average temperature of the Earth, right? And this is called this increase in the average temperature of Earth is called global warming, right? So global warming is taking place because of the thickening of this carbon dioxide tank, right? The gases which is responsible for the greenhouse gases, so greenhouse effect, and responsible for the global warming, they are these gases. Look, the first gas is the carbon dioxide. Second part is the methane. Third one is the CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, and the fourth one is the water, and the fourth one is N2O, and the fifth one is water vapor. These are the greenhouse gases. Please note it down. They are responsible for global warming. This percentage is important and sequence is important, very important. So these are the greenhouse gases. Is that clear? Greenhouse effect is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now Next thing is that what is global, how the global warming is related with the ozone depletion, right? Look, keep on noting down what I say, that is important. The average temperature of the earth is 15 degrees centigrade. That you need to know. Okay, one more important. At the 23 to 25 kilometer, approximately, not approximately, exactly 25, 23 to 25 kilometer from the surface of the earth, there is a layer of gas, and that layer is called ozone layer, right? Ozone layer. This is O3, right? So ozone is present at the 23 to 25 kilometer from the surface of the earth. Now this ozone is very useful for us. We measure the ozone in a unit called Dobson. I have written over here, look, I made the star Dobson. So Dobson is the unit to measure the thickness of ozone. It's old question, but it has been asked. The symbol of Dobson is capital D, small d, Dobson. So Dobson is unit to measure the thickness of ozone. Ozone is useful for us because it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays. Basically, there are two kinds of the ultraviolet rays, ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B. Ultraviolet A is, both are the harmful, but ultraviolet A is more harmful. So what it do, it filter the ultraviolet rays, right? It do not allow ultraviolet rays to go inside the surface of the earth so that they could harm us, right? So it protect us from the ultraviolet rays. So that is the function of ozone. Please note it down. Ozone is present at the height of 23 to 25 kilometer, 23 to 25 kilometer from the surface of earth. Full stop. It filter the ultraviolet rays. Full stop. Jet engines, jet fighter planes, and their exhaust emission disturb this layer, because jet plane fly at this layer, disturb this layer. Now look what is happening. Because ozone layer is getting harmed by a gas, and name of that gas is CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, right? So CFC is a gas. The emission of CFC takes place from refrigerator, cold store, cooling tower, and deodorant bottles. This CFC is emitted. CFC is made up of three atoms: chloride, fluoride, and carbon. Chloride atom is highly energetic. That's why I have made a star over here. Right? It means highly energetic. One chlorofluorocarbon molecule attacked and destroyed 10,000 ozone molecules. Now you can understand how dangerous it is. So one molecule of chlorofluorocarbon destroyed 10,000 molecules of the ozone. Right? It make a hole, and because of the hole, the sun rays are the ultraviolet are entering, and they will cause the great harm. They are increasing the temperature of the earth, means they are increasing the global warming phenomena. They are pushing the global warming phenomena. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What will happen if ozone will come or reach the surface of the earth? Tell me, guys. That is the question. You remember the unit Dobson? It has been asked. The fighter jet wall phenomenon, that have been asked, right? This ratio, this is important. This have been asked, right? Now tell me, if the ozone will enter inside the earth, what will it do?
It will be harmful.
Yeah, very harmful. What disease it will spread?
Skin cancer.
Cancers.
Very good. Skin cancer. UV rays. They causes skin cancer, mutation in what? Plant and animal. Actually, there is a proper whole in the Darwin province of the Australia, and it have burned a complete park, a biological park. It have burned it out. Right.
Sir, eye disease.
Eye disease. Yes, that's why that's what I want to ask. It will cause. That is a question. Actually, that this question I've been asking AIMS. Right. It will cause snow blindness. You must have seen that sometime when you go to those area where the snow is falling and if light is over there, the reflection of light there comes in that much that you can't see without the goggles, right? So that is called a snow blindness. That kind of a phenomenon will happen. Got it? Snow blindness, and one more thing, inflammation of cornea. Inflammation of cornea. Right. Inflammation of cornea, that is the snow blindness, right? And to protect, so chloride molecule is very harmful for this one. And there are particular, then what happened, there are different bodies of the world. They have called a summit or a conference of different countries. They have invited many countries to come under the same banner and work something for the preventing the earth and to stop this phenomenon. Snow blinded, that is caused by ultraviolet B radiation, which comes from ozone hole. Right? I have noted down some point over here. You have to take this screenshot. Ozone depletion. So for ozone depletion, to prevent it, the world bodies have called a conference, and the worldwide conference, the number of the country of the across the world, they have joined this conference, and this is called Montreal Protocol. So Montreal Protocol was organized in the Canada city Montreal. So Montreal is a city of Canada. It was organized. Uh, a call was there to number of the country of the world, and there was a conference, and this conference was about to decrease the ozone depletion or to control the ozone depletion. And this Montreal Protocol was signed by different countries in 1987, right? Then there is a one more movement that is against the deforestation to save the forest in the Uttarakhand of India. So there was a person, his name was Sundarlal Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna. Mr. Sundarlal Bahuguna, they have started a movement called Chipko movement. Chipko means get stuck, right? Chipko movement. So women of Garhwal, number of the women of Garhwal. So Garhwal is a part of Uttarakhand, UK, right? In India. So in those women, when somebody try to, or some authorities try to cut down the tree, they get stuck at the trunk of the tree, right? So this was a Chipko movement. That's how this was a forest conservation movement. So it started in 1974, and the person who lead this movement, his name was Sundarlal Bahuguna, right? Then
This
the
was
third
led by Bishnois, right?
no. Actually, Chipko movement, he was a Garhwali person. Bishnoi, yes, Bishnoi is another caste. They are very popular in our country, and their ethic is to, like, ethically they are committed to save the forest and uh, wild animal from Rajasthan part actually. So Bishnoyas are found in Rajasthan. So in Bishnoy are those people who do not allow anyone to kill the animals and to cut down the tree. So basically, it is a caste which is found in the Rajasthan, and these are the people who filed a case against the Salman Khan killing of their deer, black deer, right? So they are the people who have filed the case, and if anybody violates the attack, they file the case and they fight for it, and they are genuinely they are working for it. Like, this is a part of their culture to prevent the animals from hunting and protecting the forest, right? And this is from the Garhwal. So the Chipko movement started from the Garhwal. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
Garhwal is present in the. You must have you idea where is the Garhwal or Rajasthan? Any idea? Garhwal is basically the Uttarakhand is a part of North India, and this Rajasthan is a part of Western India. Okay, zoom cultivation. Zoom cultivation is banned now. So, what is the zoom cultivation? It is banned across the India to protect the forest, right? Actually, zoom cultivation is type of the cultivation which tribal people from the northeast part of the India they used to do. What they used to do, they used to cut down the forest and plow it, and then used to grow the different kind of the crops in those areas. Now, what happened? They grow the crop after deforestation. They grow the crop for 4 to 5 years, and after when the fertility of that land get exhaust, then what they used to do, they used to move in a different place. Then used to cut down the place trees over there, right? By this way, they were doing the massive deforestation. When government came to know that zoom cultivation is this kind of the practice, uh, which is cutting down the massively trees massively. So they have banned in this practice in India. So that was the zoom cultivation. It is related with the deforestation. Is that clear?
Yes.
So you have to remember the Montreal Protocol, zoom cultivation, ozone depletion. Tell me, go through with your NCRT and ask me if you have any question. One more thing which you have to remember. Let me write it down. Joint Forest Management Committee, JFM. JFM. Joint Forest Management, JFM, right? So this is a committee. Uh, Committee made by government of India to work with local communities to protect forest. Now go through with your NCRT and let me know if you have any doubt in this chapter. Now here onward, our 12th class syllabus is completed. Now we will start with the 11th class syllabus. That is plant physiology. So first, please go through with your NCRT fast and let me know if you have any doubt. You have 3 minutes to go through with your NCRT and ask me if you have any doubt. There is an award. The name of that award, it is there in the NCRT, by the way, but let me type right. Amrita Devi Bisnoi Wildlife. Amrita Devi Bisnoi Wildlife Protection Award. From the name itself, you know that it is given for wildlife. It's given for award by wildlife. No doubt? Do we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now we are going to start with the plant physiology part, right? So what you have to do, you have to go through with all these PPT which are there. Then second thing, you have to go through with the NCRT. Then third thing, you have to attempt all the questions which have been asked from 2018 onward, right? 2018 onward, all the questions. And if you can do the if you can attempt all the questions which came in the last 10 years, then that is the best thing which ever can happen. But if you can't do that, you have to do the 2018 onward, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, right? This 5 year, last 5 years. Just okay. So now first we will start with the plant physiology, right? So in plant physiology part, why I am going to cover plant physiology first? This is the part where most of students get stuck. This is the part where those students get stuck which have completed their 12th, then after they have dropped 1 year, they are called dropper, and they drop 1 year and they prepare, still they get stuck in this. Why I still could not understand, because this is the easier part than the human physiology, right? There are certain things which you have to memorize, other things you need to understand, right? So let's start with transport in the plant. Fine. So in transport in the plant, so there are two kind of the transport. Some component need to be transported for short distance, and some component need to be transported for the long distance. If we talk about the short distance transport, it may be the hormone, plant hormone, it may be some nutrient, or it may be uh, some gases, right? So gases like ethylene. Ethylene is responsible for ripening of the fruit, and it is spread in the fruit inside the fruit by diffusion process, right? And hormones, they grow here and there with the help of phosphorus. So there are two kind of the short distance transport, that is the diffusion and osmosis. We will discuss in detail diffusion. You know that the movement of molecule from higher concentration, its higher concentration, to its lower concentration, that is called diffusion, right? Osmosis, there is a different phenomena, and we'll discuss this osmosis. So there are two means of the short distance transport, the diffusion and osmosis, right? Uh, Now the second thing, yes, let me show you this. This is the short distance transport, like water. So this is the there are two plant cells, and there is a plasma membrane, and on this plasma membrane there will be cell wall, right? And there is a connection between two cells. This is called plasmodesmat, right? So what happened? Water, iron, and food, they are stored in the in the vacuole. So this is the vacuole part of the vacuole. So vacuoles are those parts where the water, ions, and food remains stored, right? They There are some corrections between two cells, two plant cells, where the protoplasm of the plant cells remains interconnected. So transport of water, ion, and food takes place from its higher concentration to lower concentration. This is called diffusion. Sometimes we use it osmosis term for it, right? That is a specific topic. We'll discuss that thing in detail in later. That is short distance transport. So short distance transport takes place through diffusion and osmosis. Now come to the long distance transport. Long distance transport takes place through the two pipelines. So the green leaves have responsibility to make the food. So food formation or glucose formation takes place in the leaves. This food and glucose, they are made in the leaves and they are transported. So the food is made over here, but in the same time, there are roots which are responsible for absorption of water. What is absorption of water and mineral? This water and mineral, they are transported from root to the leaves, and in return, leaves give them back the food. So both are helping each other. So let's discuss one by one. The root have responsibility to absorb the water from the root. Then water is absorbed. After the absorption, it is transported to the leaves. So there are certain kind of the elements, certain kind of the pipeline. They are called xylem elements. So xylem elements are the pipeline. They transport water from the root to the leaves, and xylem are a type of the tissue. These xylem tissues are made up of facet, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fiber. So there are four kind of the cells which transport this water from the root to the tissue, right? And this is transported, this phenomena, how the transport takes place. Mind it, what I am explaining you. The phenomena or the process by which this water is transported from the root to the top of the plant, it have been explained by a theory, and the name of that theory is transpiration pull. It's written. So transpiration pull theory we will study, and that explains how the transport of the water takes place from the root to the top of the plant. Then, in return, the food formation takes place in the form of glucose. But glucose is neither stored and not transported. What happened? Formation of food takes place in the form of glucose. Now the glucose is converted in the form of sucrose, right? And transport of sucrose takes place with the help of a different pipeline, and the name of that pipeline is phloem, right? So phloem transport organic substance or food from the leaves to the root. Now the transport of these substances takes place through the phloem, and phloem is made up of four kind of the tube cell, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. So these are the component of the phloem. So phloem is made up of four kind of the cell: tube cells, companion cell, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fiber. Now the explanation by which transport of food material takes place from leaf to root has been done by a theory called Moss flow hypothesis. So Moss flow hypothesis or cell sink theory, right? It explains how the transport of food takes place. So this is all about the long distance transport of the substance. Is it clear?
So can you explain the short distance transport again?
Look, short distance transport takes place through the diffusion or of osmosis. Diffusion of or osmosis takes place. Look, there is a plasma membrane, and between two cells there are some pores or connections. These connections or pore are called plasmodesmata. So transport of this substance takes place through plasmodesmata, and the storage of food, storage of ions, and storage of water is done in the organelle that is called vacuole. So transport of these substance takes place from one vacuole to another vacuole with the help of plasmodesmata, right? And what the process? Either it will be diffuses from higher concentration to low concentration with the help of by the process of diffusion or by the process of osmosis. That's it. So normally hormones, water, or ions, food, and enzymes are transported shortly from one cell to another cell with the help of this process. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So clear to all of you? Heather, clear?
Yes, sir.
So Marita, is it your first class or you are joining with some other?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Fine. Samira, all clear? Arpit?
Yes.
Kiram,
Yes.
are you getting everything? Nowadays, you are not asking anything to me.
Yes, sir.
Previously, you used to ask some questions. Okay, fine. So this was transport. You have to remember all these things which I have written over here. I am just telling you the things which are important for your medical exam. Okay. Now this is the means of transport, right? So how many means, like how many ways are there to transport these substances? Look, the thing which we discussed, those were physical structures, means anatomical structure, tissue structure, xylem, phloem, and all. And there was theory how the transport takes place. Now, if we talk it about or if we study it in the terms of physiology, then the transport of substance takes place by two means, by active means and by the passive means. The active transport and passive transport. So what is the active transport? What is the passive transport? Look, normally what is the diffusion? So diffusion, what is the diffusion? How we define the diffusion? Anyone of you?
Movement of substance from its higher
Very
concentration to
Very good. Excellent. Yes. Movement of substance from its higher concentration to lower concentration, right? So diffusion always takes place from high concentration of its molecule to low concentration of, right? This is a normal phenomenon. It do not require any kind of the energy, right? So this process is called what? This is called down the hill. Down the hill transport, right? When you go down the hill, you need not to spend any energy, right? Even you can if you do not start your bike, you can go downhill, right? And this is called in the direction of concentration gradient. Yes. So what is the direction from high to low? That is the direction of concentration gradient. But if we have to reverse this process, right, means from low concentration to high concentration, this phenomena will call uphill. Means you have to ride upside the hill, right? If you have to ride the upside the hill, that will be, now what you are doing, you are like transporting it against concentration gradient. Now the movement of molecule is taking place against concentration gradient. Now to go uphill, you have to work hard, means you have to spend energy, right? And here, and if you are moving in the direction of concentration gradient downhill, no energy is required. No energy required, right? So there are two phenomena. Now look, the transport is maybe of two types: active transport and passive transport. Active transport is that transport which is done against the concentration gradient. Means here ATP is required. Now the movement takes place from low concentration to high concentration. It is always opposite to the diffusion gradient, right? And this is the uphill movement. That kind of the movement is called active transport. Can you tell me where the active transport takes place? Anyone of you? You will get these kind of the question. You'll see these kind of the question previous year. Look, the concentration of minerals is always more inside the cells of the plant than the soil, right? So, for example, transport of minerals. So transport of mineral, most of the time it is always acute, right? Plant already have more concentration of particular substance inside itself, but still it wants from the soil. So it have to transport actively. It have to spend ATP and then it have to take it inside, right? By extension of it. Then what is the passive transport? Passive transport is always down the hill, right? Means it always takes place in the direction of diffusion gradient or concentration gradient, right? It always goes from higher concentration to lower concentration and no energy is required both. Is it clear or not? Tell me. Active passive transport clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, how the diffusion takes place? So we have already discussed that diffusion always takes place down the hill. We have just discussed it. Diffusion, how this passive transport. So diffusion is a passive transport, always in the direction of concentration gradient. Right. Now, how does the diffusion takes place? So look, the diffusion uh, takes place in the through two way. Right. First, give me just a minute. Give me this. Sir, good afternoon. सर हाँ सर 17 को टेस्ट है okay. So sorry guys, it was actually just there is a call for that test. Fine. Look, diffusion takes place and by two way, right? There are two processes. So diffusion through lipid and diffusion through protein. So before going into that, tell me, do you know the structure of plasma membrane? Please, guys, tell me. If you don't know the structure, then there will be then I have to. Clear, Heather?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine, very good. So look, the plasma membrane is, I'll brief over here. The plasma membrane is made up of two things, right? Plasma membrane is also called cell membrane, biomembrane, plasmolemma. So these are different terms of the same thing, right? Plasma membrane. So universally, this is the plasma membrane, and universally, its structure is same, either in bacteria or in the fungi or in the plant or in the animal. Everywhere, the plasma membrane or biomembrane have its same composition. It is made up of two things: bilayer of lipid and protein, plasma membrane. So look, there are these two, you can see these are the two bilayer of lipid, right? So this is the bilayer of lipid, right? Lipid bilayers, and two layers are, so we call it bilayer. This is the one layer, and these black structure, these are the called lipid molecule. Lipid molecule are made up of two things: one globular head part. Look, you can see one globular head part. This globular head part is called hydrophilic part, means it is water loving part, right? It makes attachment with the water, it can adhere with the water. And this tail part is called hydrophobic part, means water repelling part. So all the tail part or water repelling part means hydrophobic part, they are remains toward the center, and hydrophilic part it always remains outside, right? Look, and there are, so it is made up of bilayer of lipid and protein. So there are these protein molecules. You can see these yellow, these green color structure. They are the lipid molecule. Sorry, the protein molecule. So what happened? These protein molecules. You can see these protein molecules. So they are protein molecules. So protein molecule make a structure. This is called channel or gate, right? So what happened? Lipid soluble substance. If diffusion have to take place, so lipid soluble substances they diffuse easily. Why? because the large area is made up of the lipid molecule, and these lipid molecule, diffuse the substances from its higher concentration to lower concentration. So look, lipid soluble substances, they are transported directly to the lipid bilayer. But hydrophilic substances means not lipid soluble, water soluble, right? So hydrophilic substances means water soluble substances. They are transported through the channel protein or protein gate, right? So diffusion takes place by two way. Diffusion through lipid membrane. So through lipid membrane, lipid soluble substances, they are basically hydrophobic substances, but quite soluble substances, they are transported. And diffusion through protein molecule, they are called channel protein, and it may be facilitated diffusion. Now I will tell you what is the facilitated diffusion, how does it take place. So channel protein, they allow the passage of hydrophil. This is very important. You will get the question. Actually, the question has been asked multiple times from this framework or this concept. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, very, very important thing. These channel protein. So, what I said that these are the channel protein. They are the intrinsic protein. They traverse through the membrane. These are the channel. These channel protein can be of two types. If these channel allow the passage of water, they are called aquaporin. Water or water soluble substance, right? If these channel protein allow the passage of water or water soluble substances, they are called aquaporin. And if they allow the passage of ions like sodium, potassium, and all that, they are called ionic channel. So channel protein can be two types, aquaporin and ionic channel. Okay. Now channel protein allow the simple diffusion or facilitated diffusion. Please try to understand, and these both are their energy is not required. These are the passive substances, right? This is the passive way of passage of the molecules, right? This is the passive diffusion, means energy is not required, but simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. What is the simple diffusion? Look, you must have seen that your school bus, those students who are from the class 1 onward, class first onward, bus comes to at particular place and or at school, then those they ride themselves from higher concentration to lower concentration. Inside the bus is empty, means lower concentration. Outside there are a number of the students, means from higher to lower concentration. And there is a gate of that bus, the bus gate where you board on, right? So that bus gate is known as let's imagine that bus gate is a channel protein. So that is a simple diffusion. Students are entering from higher to lower concentration through that channel protein. Now, what happened? Those students who are of play group, who are from kindergarten, right? So they are very teeny kind of the girls and boys. They're very teeny kind of the kids. They cannot ride bus. Platform is the higher. It's at particular some height, so they cannot ride themselves. So at the gate there is a person. Where that person it come down, it hold a small kid and it ride. Then it help them to ride on the bus. So actually, this is called facilitated diffusion. There is a facility, right? Someone is facilitating those small kids to ride from higher concentration to lower concentration. And the person, that protein is called channel protein, right? And there is a facilitated, the person who is a facilitating, right? That is called carrier protein. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Look, in facilitated diffusion, this is a substrate black color, this red color, this is the carrier protein. This carrier protein pick it from outside and drop it at inside. So the channel protein in facilitated diffusion, channel protein always have another kind of the facilitated protein that is called carrier protein. But both are the passive kind of the diffusion. Anna, it's clear? Marita,
Yes, sir.
clear? Samira?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Great. Iram, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think you must have got the link of this one, this PPT, as you can take the screenshot as well, right? So this was very difficult. This complete chapter is very important. Now channel protein. These questions sometimes come with a diagram as well. Sometimes they are asked with the help of diagram. You have to explain the diagram A, B, C, and all that, right? Look, channel protein. The transport through the channel protein can be of two types: uniport and co-transport. In uniport, only one molecule is transported in one direction at one time. At one time, suppose that the sodium is or hydrogen is transported from outside to inside, but at one time only one substance can be transported. Right? It can be opposite as well, right? From here to there, both of the way it's possible. But in co-transport, when the transport will take place, always there will be two molecules which are transported through channel. These both can be in same direction or they can be in opposite direction. If both of the substances are transported through channel protein in same direction, this is called what? Symport. This is called symport. But if through the channel protein, one substance is coming in and in return another is going out, this is called antiport, right? So co-transport can be of two types: symport and antiport. Right? In digestion, in digestive system, there are in our small intestine, there are some symport. This is very important question. 3 times it have been asked in AIMS examination, right? Top examination. So what is that? When the fructose will be transported along with the fructose, sodium ion will also be transported from stomach to the blood. So fructose molecule is always transported with the sodium. That is a type of symport. Antiport, when chloride ion will come inside, then what will happen? HCO3, carbonate ion will go outside. That is example of antiport. Uniport, sodium pump and hydrogen pump, they are example of, right? Is that clear? Look, in passive transport, diffusion through this one. Then passive transport, that can be facilitated diffusion is also there, right? And active transport, this is active transport, or the active transport takes place. And the protein or the channel through which active transport takes place, we call them pump. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Osmosis. Now, what is the osmosis? Please try to understand it carefully, right? Look, there are two tumbler, and in this tumbler there is 1,000 milliliter of water and 50 gram of salt, right? So there is a low concentration solution. So we will call it hypotonic solution, right? If the concentration is low. Then in another solution, another tumbler, there are 1,000 ml of the water, but there is 100 milligram of the salt. This is having higher concentration. So this is called hypertonic solution, right? And we know that diffusion always takes place from the higher concentration of the molecule to lower concentration, right? So look, if the sugar will be transported, right? So salt will be transported from higher concentration when hypertonic to hypotonic. But if water will be transported, so water will be transported from where? Water will be transported or diffused from it's a hypotonic to hypertonic, right? Because the concentration of water is higher over here and concentration of the water is lower over here, right? So that's how the transport takes place. Now, there is no, between these two tumblers, there is no membrane or no structure. Now come to the osmosis. Suppose that you can see here, this is the pure water, right? Water molecule. These are the pure water molecule. And here, this is the sucrose molecule, water plus sucrose molecule. So concentration is higher over here, right? And concentration is lower over here. But between these two tumbler or between these two cells, there is a membrane that is called differentially permeable membrane or semi-permeable. Semi-permeable membrane or differentially permeable membrane, it has some pores or some channel protein. They do not allow the entry of larger molecule like sugar. Only the water molecule can pass through them, right? Now come to the water molecule. As you can see, the concentration of water molecule is more in the hypotonic. This is hypotonic. Yes, you can see this is hypotonic solution and this is the hypertonic solution. Now the concentration of water is more over here. Then what will happen? Movement of water molecule will take place from cell 1 to cell 2, right? So we can see this process called osmosis. Osmosis is the movement of water from its higher concentration to lower. Is that clear? So first condition, what is? How we can explain the same thing? Higher concentration of movement of the higher concentration of water to low concentration of the water is osmosis through semi-permeable membrane. Second, movement of water molecule from hypotonic solution to hypertonic solution is called osmosis. Third, there is a low concentration solution. This is high concentration. Movement of the water molecule from low concentrated solution to higher concentrated solution is called osmosis, right? But the most important thing, we require the differentially or semi-permeable membrane. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is osmosis process. That's how osmosis takes place. I have a question. This question is from osmosis. There was a question. It said this question is from NEET exam only. Taking out a fish, a marine fish from ocean and putting that fish in an aquarium which is filled with sweet water. What will happen with the fish? I repeat it. Taking out the marine fish from ocean or salt lake and putting it into sweet water or soft water aquarium, what will happen with the fish?
The fish will swell up.
Sorry, the fish will?
The fish will swell up
Why?
because water from the aquarium will move into the fish's body.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Right. What will happen? Look, the blood, the fish is from the marine environment. Means where the salt concentration is higher. Means the blood concentration will be higher of fish body. Right? Means the blood will be hypertonic. When you put this fish in the soft water, the outside environment is hypotonic. And the membrane is what? Semi-permeable membrane. What will happen? The water will start coming inside the body of the fish. Fish will swell, it will burst, and it will die. Right? So you will get this kind of the question. Directly question you won't get. There are chances you can get. Look. This is very important. You will get the question with the diagram. Even the question have been asked from this concept as well. Look, there is a cell, and this is a plant cell. The outer part is called cell wall. Inside the cell wall, there is a plasma membrane, and inside the plasma membrane, there is a part which is called vacuole. So always the vacuole remains filled with this part. This part is vacuole. This complete part is vacuole. So always the vacuole remains filled with the substances, right? Basically water, mineral, color, and some other chemical metabolite They are found in the vacuum part. This complete part is called vacuum. Now, what will happen? Suppose that the water is coming from outside. For example, the water is coming from outside. It will swell this in, right? Means suppose that water is coming and now it is filling it has filled completely the vacuum, right? So what will happen? Cell will become turgid. Means cell will swell, and this swelled condition is called turgid condition. So cell will become turgid. Cell will get swell. When cell will get swell, what will happen? It will start putting pressure outside. When it will start putting pressure outside, this pressure is called turgor pressure. So turgor pressure is the pressure which is imparted by vacuole, right? When it gets filled, which is imparted by vacuole outside, right? From inside to outside of the cell, right? So it is put on the plasma. Now cell will get swell, and this cell is called turgid cell. Now what will happen? Again, turgor pressure, the cell wall of the plant will put pressure in opposite direction. So this is and this, right? So this cell wall, this turgor pressure, now cell wall or cell membrane, it will put pressure inside, right? And wall pressure, this is called wall pressure. Wall pressure is always is equal to turgor pressure. So WP is equal to TP. Now there is another pressure. So why the water is coming inside? When the concentration of substance is higher here, or concentration of water is lower here, and water is higher outside. Now the water will start coming from outside to inside, and this process is called osmotic pressure. So direction of osmotic pressure will be inside, right? So I think the turgor pressure, wall pressure, and osmotic pressure. And when the osmotic pressure will become equal at both the side, this is called OP, osmotic pressure. When osmotic pressure will become equal both sides, this osmosis will stop. Right? Now there is a term DPD, diffusion pressure deficit. What is diffusion pressure deficit? Here, suppose that the diffusion pressure of the water, because here is the pure water, diffusion pressure of the water is 10 millimeter mg, 10 mmHg. And here in the cell 2, diffusion pressure is 4 millimeter H. So how much deficit? So what will happen? The movement of water molecule will take place, osmosis will take place from higher water concentration to lower, when the osmotic pressure will become equal at the both sides, when it will become 7 both sides, right? So how much deficit at the cell 2? 3 mmHg pressure is deficit at this point. Is that clear or not? To make it balance, the cell 2 require 3 mmHg pressure, because 4 mmHg is there, right? And to become 7 mmHg, it requires more 3 mmHg, right? So when it will get the pressure 3 mm, develop the pressure 3 mmHg over here, the process will stop, right? So how much deficit was there? 3 mmHg. This deficit is called diffusion pressure deficit. Is that clear or not? Tell me, DPD clear or not? Tell me, guys. If not clear, I'll make you understand another way. Either is it clear? DPD?
Yes, sir.
Great. So there is a formula. Please cram this formula. DPD is equal to osmotic pressure minus wall pressure. So DPD is equal to OP minus WP, and here we know that WP is equal to TP. Wall pressure equal to turgor pressure. So another formula can be DPD is equal to OP minus T. Both are right. So remember the formula of DPD, diffusion pressure deficit. Samira, is that clear? Abhinav?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So this was DPD. You have to remember OPT, WP, TP, wall pressure, DPD, right? You'll get the question from here. What is the water potential? Very simple. The water potential is the free energy of the water molecule. So the pure water have maximum free energy, right? And the solution water have, in solution state, water have less uh, free energy, right? So look, this symbol is called psi. So psi is a symbol of potential, and psi W is called water potential. The psi W, we call it water potential, right? So water potential of pure water is 0, and when we mix solute with it, the potential of water with pure water decreases. So let's say this is called solute potential WS. That is called that always be in negative sign. So come to here. Look, what is water potential? So pure water have maximum free energy, right, or maximum chemical energy. That free energy or chemical energy is called water. We represented it with the help of psi W. The pure water have water potential equal to 0. When we mix the solute, right, we have mixed the glucose here in part B. So this was the cell A, and the cell B, we have mixed the glucose. When we have mixed the glucose or solute, addition of the solute, what will happen? The chemical energy of water will decrease, and that will become negative, right? And water potential will become negative, right? And the amount of energy which decreases, that is called solute potential. So how much decreases there? -2, that is called solute potential, right? So movement will always take place from 0 towards the negative, right? Now, look. So solute potential, the amount of energy will decrease due to the solute, right? Now, what will happen? The movement of molecule will take place where? From higher toward the lower concentration of water, and the pressure which it will drop, right? The pressure which it will drop to the membrane, that is called pressure potential. So water potential, the free energy of water. Solute potential, the energy of water, free energy of the water, which decreases by adding the solute, that is solute potential. And pressure potential, that the amount of the energy or amount of the pressure that is imparted by water molecule on membrane during the process of diffusion, that is called pressure potential. So formula is psi W, means water potential, is equal to solute potential plus pressure. Tell me guys, water potential clear or not? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, very important concept where you will get the question in PYQ. These are the stages of plasmolysis. How many type of the plasmolysis? Now first tell me, what is the plasmolysis? Who's going to tell me? What is the plasmolysis? Tell me guys.
Shrinking of cytoplasm of plant cell because of placing it in a hypertonic solution.
Very good, very good. Okay. So when we place any cell in the hypertonic solution, the water do not come out of from the protoplasm. Remember, water never come out of the this one protoplasm or cytoplasm. Water come out from the vacuole. So vacuole is the largest organelle of the plant cell. Water start coming out from the vacuole of the cell to outside, means toward the hypertonic solution, because inside the vacuole there is a concentration is hypotonic, solution is hypotonic, and outside there is a hypertonic solution. And we know that in the process of osmosis, the water will come from hypotonic to hypertonic, mean higher concentration of the water to the lower concentration of the water, right? So water will move out. That is called normal. This is the normal plasmolysis cell, right? This is normal cell. And when water will go out, cell will become soft. It is called flaccid state. Cell will called flaccid. I have a question, very small question. Let me check who is going to give me the answer. What is the name of the outer membrane of vacuole? What is the name of outer membrane of vacuole?
Sir, tenoplast.
Yes, yes. Tonoplast. Very good. Tonoplast. So tonoplast is very good. Excellent. Tonoplast is the membrane of. This is the only membrane which have some different name. As we call outer membrane, inner membrane, mitochondria, chloroplast, every organ is outer membrane. The tonoplast is the name of the membrane of vacuole. Right. Very. Now the cell is called in flaccid state in normal plasma. Now what will happen? We increase the concentration of solution. Now the water is more hypertonic. Sorry, solution is more hypertonic. What will happen now? Further, the movement of water will take place from vacuole to outside. And now this time, what will happen in these corner, right? In these corner, protoplasm will leave the corners, right? And a space will be created at the corner. Protoplasm leave the cell wall at the corner and a space will be created. And this space, the filling of hypertonic solution will start. This is called incipient plasma. Then if the further concentration is increased, what will happen? More water will come out of the cell and what will happen? Leaving one or two places, the plasma membrane will leave the attachment with the cell wall and more hypertonic solution will enter. This is called evident plasmolysis. And when further water will be taken out from the vacuole, what will happen? Protoplasm will leave all the attachment with the cell and hypertonic solution will enter in these spaces and this is called final plasmolysis. Right? If suppose that the final plasmolysis is taken, immediately if we will keep this cell in hypotonic solution, right? From keeping it hypotonic solution, from hypertonic solution, from keeping the cell in hypotonic solution. Keeping the cell in hypotonic solution. Or pure water. Right? What will happen? The cell will get reverse. It will become again normal cell, and the process called deplasma. Right. So these are the stages of plasmolysis. Go through with it and remember it. Very important. Normal or flaccid cell, incipient, evident, or final plasmolysis. The normal or flaccid condition is the first stage is called limiting plasmolysis. When the cell becomes flaccid, this is called first is called limiting plasmolysis. The normal cell plasmolysis is called limiting plasmolysis. Then second stage is incipient. Then third stage is evident, and fourth stage is final plasmolysis. There are 4 stages of plasmolysis. Tell me if you have any doubt. What is imbibition? What is imbibition? This is a solid substance, right? This is a solid substance, right? When solid substance absorb the water and water is absorbed at the outer surface, this is called imbibition. What is imbibition? Take a biscuit, dip this biscuit inside a chocolate, right? And take out this biscuit. The chocolate will get absorbed by the outer surface, but it will not go deeper in the inside. That is called imbibition. When solid substances absorb some liquid, that is called imbibition, right? When you soak that gram seed or some seed in the water over the night, you see that the water, the seed gets swell, right? And this is called imbibition. Is it clear or not? Go through with all the topic which we covered today, right? And let me know if you have doubt in any point. Please, guys, go through with it.
Sir, can you repeat imbibition?
Which one? Imbibition. Yes, yes.
Imbibition, yes.
Sure.
Sir.
Look, imbibition is the phenomena when actually a solid substance absorb the water. This is called imbibition. Any solid substance. So what is that? Suppose that we have dry seed of gram, dry seed of pea, or anything, right? And we soak that seed, we drop the seed in the water. This seed will absorb the uh, moisture, absorb the water from outside, and they will get swell. This phenomena is called imbibition.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
In rainy season, the these wooden windows, they become tight. Wooden doors become tight because they absorb moisture from outside. That is also called imbibition. Right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
I understood. Right.
So okay, this is all for the day, right? Go through with your NCRT, go through with these PPT, solve the previous year question paper that have been sent to you, right? And you have been team have shared with you, right? Those Arihant question paper. Go through with, at least do the 2018 onward questions, right? And you are welcome with your doubt. If you have any doubt, note it down in text that notebook, or somewhere in the middle of the textbook as well, that vacant place. So and discuss with me in the next class, right? Bye bye.